So as a kid, I collected Beanie Babies. So they nicknamed me Beanie. And when I was 10 years old, I was helping my mom pack up all the boxes, and I proudly wrote BR on every single box for Beanie's room. Well, it was a long flight, and we flew in on Christmas Day, and then we moved into our new house on my birthday, which absolutely sucked. I did not get a celebration that year. But to make matters worse, we had probably the worst moving company in the world to help us. See, I noticed shortly after they started moving the boxes that they had moved all the BR boxes to my brother's room. Naturally, I confronted them about this. And they told me that BR stood for boys' room. And I said, no, it stands for Beanie's room. And they told me that was ridiculous. And so I did what any 11-year-old would do. And I went, Mom! So she came upstairs. And she was like, no, that's my daughter's handwriting. And I labeled all of my son's boxes with his name. BR stands for Beanie's room, not for boys' room. And then the movers didn't believe her. And I'm just standing there in shock, like, this is not a kid talking here. This is not some teenager who's been asked to oversee the movers. This is my mother. She was, how old was she at the time? Let's see, she was 25 when I was born, and I was 11, so she was 36 years old. And she's just standing there like, are you kidding me? And they weren't. They refused to move the BR boxes over to my room. And I just couldn't believe it. My mom couldn't either, so she actually goes and she calls my dad home from work in the middle of the day. And when I tell you that he was angry, oh boy, he was angry. I mean, can you imagine getting called in the middle of the day by your wife? And she's just like, hey, so the movers think I'm a liar? I mean, seriously. Anyway, so he comes home, he sets them straight, and they grumpily start moving all the BR boxes into my room. Except they didn't do it right, and stuff got messed up, because my dad had to leave afterwards, obviously. He couldn't stay there all day and supervise them. And my mom was busy downstairs packing, and I didn't really feel safe up there with the two guys who had already not believed my mother and been hostile towards her and everything. So I stayed down with my mother, and a lot of stuff happened that I don't really remember how this all shook out. But at the end of the day, when everything got unpacked, I noticed that all of the girly stuff ended up in my room, and all of the STEM toys ended up in my brother's room. And no amount of angry ranting to my mother would get her to change it. She was like, oh, you're too old for those toys. They were Legos and like Marble Works and stuff. And he was, I think he was 4. Yeah, he was 4. Anyway, so I was really upset. And as a result, I never labeled anything Beanie's room ever again.